Alright, today let's learn about Spark Workspace. So, as said, Workspace, we need to create one workspace in Fabric. Let's click on New Workspace. So, this is the place where we keep all our work related things in an organized way, which is known as Workspace, right? Just like a kitchen would contain the dishes, the plates, right? The chopping board. That's how workspace is all about. It's like a kitchen, right? We keep everything organized. Let's create one workspace. I'll name it like Spark Workspace. Let's click on apply now. All right. Now we have successfully created one workspace. So let's begin by creating one notebook because Spark Workspace is all about like it's in the notebook, right? So let's click on the new item here. And in the new item, we can either search here by scrolling down, or another easy way to find something is to use the search. We can search here notebook because that's what we want. Let's click on notebook, right? And if we look here, it's mentioned in notebook supports Apache Spark, right? So that's why we are creating one notebook. Let's click on create. Let's give a name to our notebook, maybe notebook demo. And here we'll be notifying about the workspace which we have created, the location. So for us, since we have created just workspace few moments back in Fabric, let's keep as it is. I'll click on create. Now you might be thinking what a notebook is all about, right? So notebook is like a writing pad, I'll say, in short words, where we type commands to see the results instantly. So now the interesting part is here if we look. So we don't have the data source because we need one source so that we can run commands, right? So here if we click on the add data items, we have lakehouse. So let's click on lakehouse. Let's give a name to our lakehouse. I'll explain what lakehouse is all about. Lakehouse Spark, let's give a name. So think lakehouse as your central library. I'll click on create. So our source file is named sales data, which is on our local computer for now. We need to ingest the data in our lakehouse. So the data looks something like this. This is a CSV file, basically the sales data, and the data looks like that. Now let's say I want to Excel this spreadsheet in Fabric, that is in lakehouse. How do we do it? So here in the lakehouse, if we click on this arrow, we have the files here. So then we have the three dots. We have the upload. I'll click upload files. And now we click on this folder icon to browse from our local computer the hands-on file, that is sales data. Now let's browse our file, that is sales data. Let's click on upload here. So our source file got uploaded now. So there are many ways to run the command. We can run against our CSV file as well. Otherwise, we can ingest it into a table form. How do we do it? Let me duplicate this tab. And here, we can go to our lakehouse. We need to go to our lakehouse. I'll go to workspace. I'll go to my workspace which I created, which contains basically our lakehouse as well. So here if you look, we get the lakehouse Spark which we created just now. Let's click on it. Now here under files, this is the file, right? We have ingested from our local computer. I can see three dots here. We need to click on load table, new table. I'll leave as it is the name sales data. If you want to change the name of the table which you want to query or using Spark, we can change the table and change the name of the table as well. But for now, I'll keep as it is what is suggested by Fabric. I'll click on load now. So it says loading sales.csv to table sales data. All right, it says successfully created table. And there we go. We can now see the table here if you look. So this is how our source file looks like. Now we are good. So if I go to our tab here, maybe I need to refresh it because it takes a while to appear here. So always please do not panic. We may need to refresh the browser. It takes a while. I'll click on reload. All right, now let's expand the table section. Yes, we got the table, what we want here. So now we are all set. So let's begin by ingesting in our data frame. Let's first open our command. So here the hash means these are the comments and all, right? If I paste it, please make sure the language is selected as PySpark, because otherwise the variables like Spark and all, the notebook won't recognize. I'll click on this play button or the run button. So it will now execute. So if everything is fine, the syntax and all, it will execute successfully. So I'll give you some brief intro if you're new to notebook and all. So here, if you look at df.show, this shows like what data is written in sales.df. It's kind of display if in a nutshell, or if you are familiar with Java, it's like kind of print statements and all, right? What we use like system.out.println, right? So similarly, we can see our data. If I go back to my previous screen, does it look similar? Yeah, somewhat similar, right? In a programmatic way, this is how we display things, right? So we are able to view the contents of our source in a kind of programmatic way, I'll say. So now let's begin by performing some transformation. If I go down here, automatically the magic code and markdown appears. I'll click on code. And now here we can begin or continue with more PySpark commands and all. Let's do some simple basic transformations. So now we have written a short SQL query kind of to group by the product and some quantity to calculate total revenue per product. So let's hit the run button, and if we look at the end dot show, it will display the results as well. So that is the best part. We are not only doing the transformations and all, but also displaying how the results should look like. So it will basically add all the similar thing, and there we go with the results. So if we do the mathematics here, 1200 and 1200. So 1200 plus 1200 equal to 2400. So laptop is 2400. Same goes for the others. Tablet, if you look, 300 plus, and here 300, it's 600. So tablet, if you look here, it's 600, right? So looks good. I think mathematically it has done and displayed in a programmatic way. Now let's say I want the results back, these results kind of in a separate table, maybe for analysis later. For the data analyst, we might need to send. Let's open a code. And how do we export or create one new table out of it? Just with this data, the outputs with the group by column and sum, the sales thing and all, right? So how many sales we did, let's say for phone, tablet, laptop, we want to keep or store in a form of table. Now let's write the command for it. So here, if we look, it's creating save as table sales summary. So it's self explanatory. It will create one new table, that is save as we do, right? In Word, Excel as well. Save as means creating a new file. So here it will create one new table named sales summary, and the mode is overwrite. So if something is there, it will the data will get overwrite. For now, we don't have any created sales summary table, so it will basically create one new table. And please note, it takes a while to appear, and there we go. We are now able to see the sales summary. Similarly, I'm in my lake house here, right? I need to refresh it. It will similarly appear here as well. And there we go. We can see sales summary, and our data we can see is created in the form of a new table. And please note, whatever transformation you need, we need to write it out here. Since we have created a kind of copy of it, I'll say for the our original table, that is the sales data as sales summary. But we can definitely create some kind of like apply the logic here, and then append dot save as table. So it will basically save kind of a new table with the data what we want. And there are some things here to which we can tweak based on our workload. The most important is, if you look here, the workspace settings, the compute is medium and nodes. So we can click on open environment here, and here if we go down under the pull, we have this pencil icon. We can scale this. It's auto scale. This is like grayed out and all. We can manually scale this if you look, right, as per our requirement. I'll for now discard this, and I'll show some more things. So here is the runtime version as well. We can select the version of Spark which our Spark pool will use, right? If you want a specific version as per your project requirement, we can also manually select these as well as per our requirement. Next, we have the jobs active and queued. So 2 jobs are active, and that's what goes for this the workload and all. And here we have the language as mentioned previously, right? Please make sure whatever language, programming language you use, you need to choose the appropriate language. Otherwise, you'll see syntax error and all, right? We don't want to write something in T-SQL and try to run using PySpark, because Python won't recognize T-SQL anyway. So that's what it goes to get started with Spark Workspace. Thank you so much for watching. Let's meet in our next lecture.